Green Marker, we work on tax and estate planning, where we help you navigate the estate planning process. We advise on trust, tax, and estate strategies that can help you preserve your wealth for the next generation. So Adelia, I'd like to talk about this. I'd love to learn about what happens in our sessions. What do we talk about?
Sure. Our sessions look at the past, the present, and the future. We review what you have done already, whether you have existing wills or holding companies in place or any other estate planning structures like trusts. And we look to see what those are and explain them, educate you on what you've done. And then in the second part of our sessions, we look at the current situation. So we educate you on current estate and tax planning tools, tell you what has changed in that landscape, see whether your previous planning fits into your current life situation and your goals, and look at different strategies. And then the third part of our session is we look at a roadmap for the future. So given your goals and your issues and your current and evolving situation, what are some tools and techniques that we can put in place? Do we need to update your wills, your powers of attorney? Do you have children who've crossed borders, they've migrated to the US or the UK or abroad that we need to consider? Are you in the process of selling a business and we need to look at an estate freeze? Do you have adequate insurance? Do we need to look at insurance planning and insurance trusts? So that's what we do in our sessions.
Great. Well, I can relate to what you said because you and I have had discussions about my estate. And my favorite part of working with you is that education component where you really get to understand the reason behind the options you have in front of you. So you yourself can have a part of that decision. So I just wanted to point that out. That's part of your magic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So as a next piece, could you provide some examples of how you've worked with people in this?
Absolutely. I'll give you two recent examples. The first one is an estate trustee. And it was a bit of an unusual situation because he was an estate trustee that was running an active business. And the estate was left in a trust. And as part of the trust conditions, the trustee was allowed to grow the business, amalgamate it, sell it, do whatever he needed to do to provide for the employees. And at the end of the life of the trust duration, he would give the assets to a charity. So the time was coming to a draw, and I helped the trustee understand his options and what he can do and his duties, such as accounting, such as increasing the size of the estate for the beneficiaries, and to ensure a smooth transition and fulfillment of all of his estate trustee duties. Another recent example was a family where the one spouse was Canadian only and another spouse was dual Canadian-US. And I explained to them their options and their obligations with respect to US tax planning and reporting duties. And I guess the biggest learning for them from our session was that when a US person sells a principal residence, he or she is only entitled to $250,000 US worth of capital gains. This family had a $20 million property, which meant the tax burden on the US-Canada dual spouse would have been at least $2 to $3 million US. So we talked about strategies and how to minimize or eliminate his tax burden. And I believe our fee was well worth that session.
What I love about those two examples is it just shows the breadth of topics that can be discussed under this piece. And really, there's a lot of complexities in whatever stage you're in.
Well put. That's right.